where'd they end up? A couple of bids are the same, right to the dollar. Oh, Tri-State and Klusner.
Yeah, so the first column is the recommendation.
Huh?
First column is the recommendation.
This one here.
Yeah, the second and third columns are their
That's their bid.
their estimates, yeah.
But it said there's two of them that are,
So I think,
okay, yeah,
these are cheaper on each one.
recommendation and that's the estimate.
Even,
The darker one, so,
we'll go over that. So I don't want to get whipped by the attorney or something and talk about it before the meeting starts.
put your little finger on the table, right?
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the East Dubuque City Council meeting. It is Monday, June 3rd. I ask that you please turn your cell phones off during the meeting and please be quiet during discussions. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
24-0601, call to order.
Belkin.
Here.
Bergmeyer.
Here.
Dagenhart.
Here.
Mayor Digman.
Here.
Fleur.
Here.
Meyer. Roby. Attorney Hess.
Here.
All right. 24-0602, staff reports. City manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. My report today is going to be about this afternoon. The rain we got was approximately 3 inches of rain all this afternoon. We had a full response from the fire department, the public works department, the police department, and everything that could be done to protect public safety during the event was done. That's the primary purpose of a response in a situation like that. Secondary purpose was still extremely important is protecting property. And I think our Public Works Department did a phenomenal job of trying to protect property. We had one Public Works person standing knee-deep in water, holding a manhole cover open to drain water on the downtown area as quickly as possible. We had others out with backhoes clearing ditches to keep the water flowing through and out. We had maintenance to get the pumps going and when the pumps weren't enough, they were able to get the PTO pumps going by bringing the tractors out. All that response happened during the worst of the rain, so I'm extremely proud of the response that our folks did. There'll be things we'll learn from each of these, and we'll meet afterwards and talk about how to there's always a way to improve, but to talk about how we can improve. And once things settle down tomorrow, we'll be able to get a better look at how things are. We're sympathetic with the wet basements and things like that, but there's no report of any injury or loss of life, and that's our primary concern.
Thank you. All right, Mayor's report. I was going to echo Bob. I'd like to thank the Public Works and the police and fire departments for their quick response this afternoon. Also like to give a shout out to the American Legion for organizing the Memorial Day Parade. Great turnout for it. Like to thank our very own Randy Dagenhart and Delbert Belkin for their service to our country.
I think we're the only two there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Next shout out, I'd like to congratulate the East Dubuque baseball and softball teams on their great seasons. There was a lot of community support and Warrior Pride running wild the last few weeks during their runs, postseason tournaments. And my last order of business, I'd like to ask Dan Dahlberg to come forward. All right, that was Plaque 40 Dan Certificate of Retirement presented to Daniel Dahlberg in sincere appreciation for your dedicated years of service with the City of East Dubuque. We hope that you enjoy your well-deserved retirement. Thank you, sir, for your years of service.
Did a great
Thanks,
job, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Make you hold the plaque so it covered up the end.
Did he? I hope so. All right, that's all I have. Alderperson report, Belkin?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I wanted to thank, last week, Monday, we had our our Memorial Day Parade. And I got a lot of cooperation from Public Works, the fire department, and the police department to pull it off. Second of all, I got one other thing is, I spent 5.5 years in the military, and I've been in the American Legion for another 60. Plus, I did over 10 years doing color guard for the VFW, Drum and Bugle Corps. And I was really disappointed on the turnout that we had from city members, the staff, and council members. Also, I did 25 years of Little League Baseball. So I've had all the excuses that I haven't used them all yet. But, when I was doing color guard, we had our first outing in January. And then the last one would be a Veterans Day in November. And we did 4 counties in the area, 2 in Wisconsin, Joe Davis, and Dubuque. So we did 20-some parades in that a year, plus all the funerals that we did. So, I mean, I missed a lot of family days and stuff like this to do this. So it kind of disgusts me when people can't take one day and come down and be in the parade. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
I'd just like to, I did 28 years as a dad so far, and my youngest son was graduating. To me, that takes precedence over about everything else possible. So everybody's got their reasons for what they do, and I think we all have great appreciation for veterans and what they've given this country.
Like I said, Bob, I got excuses I haven't used. When I was Little League, you'd ask the kids, how come you did this, and had an excuse. Be the same one they used last year. So I used to tell them, I got that excuse left over from 5 years ago. there's always something, you know. Yeah, I mean, there's graduations and stuff like that.
I guess I'm gonna speak my piece on this. I don't think Memorial Day is about politicians being in a parade and throwing out candy. I think it's important that we honor the veterans. I was down here before the parade, and then I went to the softball game and supported the student athletes of our city in the sectionals. It's not about us getting in there and throwing out candy. It's about honoring the veterans.
Well, who's doing it if we don't have people in there? I mean, if the veterans that weren't there and the other people, there wouldn't be a parade.
Some of us walk cemeteries.
The only thing I got to say is, us at this table, we represent the people of this town. And I think we should be there to show that we're behind them 100%. I haven't missed a parade in 50 years.
I was at the parade last year too.
I know, I'm just saying, was the only ones there.
It's not that you have to be in the parade,
No, I know.
you know, and like Bob, I went to the cemetery, you know, where my dad's buried and honored the veterans there. You know, it's not about throwing out candy.
I know,
But
everybody looks forward.
were you up at the cemetery up here?
No, sir,
You wasn't up there.
no.
You know, there's 606 veterans flags up there. And that's not a 15-minute job. The guys that do it are from Menominee. I don't know what the hell we're going to do when they can't do it anymore. It's not going to happen. I go over and pick them up, and I put them all away. And I'm sitting there too nice doing that. Nobody knows a damn thing about it except me. You know? It just doesn't happen. Somebody's got to do it. That's just like all the stuff we got down here, Wingfest and all this other stuff. You know, people don't show up to help you. You know that as well as I do. That's all I got to say, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I spoke my piece.
No, you're good.
Let's move on.
Bergmeyer,
Nothing this week, Mayor.
thank you. Degenhart,
I don't have nothing. Delbert covered it.
all right. Fleur,
Nothing.
thank you. Meyer's not here. Roby,
Yeah, couple things. Tom Burns has a sewer license. Why do we continue to pay Fair Graham?
Because there are reports and things that Fair Graham can do that keep us in compliance.
Tom can't do that.
And I don't believe that there was confidence that we had the people to be able to do those things. So
aren't they supposed to be training Tony to take over for Tom? I think that's part of it's a.
and we pulled Tony off of that when Mark had his surgery, and so he's behind on that process. But there's a lot more trouble that you can get into on the reporting side. But we are addressing Fair Graham. I can't say that I'm completely happy with the contract with Fair Graham, but I can say that we are addressing it and pulling in the information from Fair Graham that we need to be able to manage it ourselves.
And I will apologize, Delbert, for not being at the parade on Monday. I had something come up I just couldn't get away from. So I did go up to the cemetery, which kudos to the people that take care of the cemetery. It was beautiful this year. And if you ever need help with the flags, please call me. I will volunteer my time.
They don't want you. These guys got a system, and usually when they get something, they won't even let me help them.
Well, if you need help taking them down, call me.
I got my grandkids. We do it.
Well, then don't sit here and complain that nobody
I'm
is
complaining
helping.
about not participating.
That's all I have.
Thank you. City Attorney Hess,
Nothing to report.
thank you. Chief Kovacic is not here. Public Works is not here. Chief Heim is not here.
So the badge pinning, he has to put off because of the response they're making right now to the flood.
Sure. All right. 24-0603, speakers from the floor. None noted. 24-0604, consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. Nope, go ahead.
Roll call.
Belkin.
Aye.
Bergmeyer.
Aye.
Dagenhart. Fleur. Meyer. Roby.
Aye.
New business, 24-0605, discussion and possible action to approve an ordinance to vacate Laura Lane, also known as Laura Street, in the city of East Dubuque.
So Laura Lane is a street that is essentially a driveway that serves one property owner. That property owner has leased their property for new business going in on Highway 20. And this, I think, is a good thing for us because it takes away any obligation we have for clearing it, maintaining it, and it's good for them because it allows them to better orient their parking for the place. The only homes in the back belong to the same owner, and they're putting in a driveway to access without going onto Laura Lane.
We had a public hearing on this, nobody showed up. So there was no opposition, I'll make a motion to approve.
Roll call.
Bergmeyer.
Aye.
Dagenhart.
Aye.
Fleur.
Aye.
Roby.
Aye.
Belkin.
Aye.
24-0606, discussion and possible action to approve estimates for street projects in the city of East Dubuque.
Okay, so I apologize that these weren't in the packets on Friday, but some of the estimates came in too late to go out on Friday. If you look at the sheet that I distributed, there's one out on the table for the public. We're making recommendations. So the difference this year and the past, only one company was asked to put in estimates, and this year Tony managed to find another company that would come in and look at our projects. I will say as an offside comment that their initial estimate was $101,000, and then we said, "Are you sure that you've taken into account prevailing wage?" And that added 16% to the cost of the project. So what we have is Kleesner Construction and Tri-State. The gray are the recommendations that I'm making. The other columns are the estimates from Tri-State and Kleesner. Basically, on 4 of the 5 projects, we are taking the low bid, and we're excited to find out what another company can do in here and to get competition going. On Hyacinth, we went up to Hyacinth with Tri-State and got a good idea of what they're doing. The other projects are pretty straightforward. They're a 2-inch mill and fill, which means you grind off 2 inches of the pavement and you put down 2 inches of new pavement. So that's the work on Hyacinth is a little bit different because there's a kind of a mound in that street and nobody really knows what's under it. It's had blacktop put on it year after year after year, patching, and it's when you dig down on that street, it's kind of like an archaeology project. Every couple inches you hit a new layer, but all the layers are bad. So we spent Tony and I spent a lot of time with Tri-State talking about how they would approach that, and we felt confident in how they were going to go about it. They may have to take 8 inches to a foot off that mound to reorient the road, and then they would put both estimates would put a asphalt curb along the side. one of the sort of advantages you get from having a road in as bad a shape as that one is that the water doesn't get channeled into erosion as easily. So when we fix the road, then we need to handle the fact that the water is going to want to move better. And so they would put a curb, both estimates would put a curb along there. So there is a difference of about $7,000 between the two projects, 47 to 54. And like I said, my recommendation is that we go with Tri-State on that one because I'm just confident about the work that they discussed on that project. The other ones, I think we're going to be able to get a lot of savings by bringing more competition in here.
Are we figuring on doing all those streets there?
We are hoping to. There are some issues with a couple that is just a matter of timing. So Oxford is part of the project that's going on that's sewer, water, stormwater, and paving. But the city is responsible for the stormwater and paving components. So that's definitely going to happen. Hiawatha, really, it says Hiawatha, it's scenic heights. And one of the issues there is that we do have someone who wants to connect to our sewer. We had talked about extending city sewer main, but I think what we're going to do is let them connect up with a rather long lateral. And so we may hold that one off while they put theirs in so we aren't tearing up a brand new road. So the other one that we had out for estimates was the block of Montgomery, but because we're looking at extensive work on Montgomery next year, we left that one off of this list. So if you look at the top, it has our budget for this year, both the road and bridge and the non-home rule tax money. So with these projects, the way I'm recommending, we would have $36,000 remaining, which would basically go to the cracks. We also discussed the cracks on Montgomery. And so with this, you'd be authorizing me to get an estimate on that. There's a product that was recommended by Tri-State that would fill the cracks. So you have options of putting asphalt in there, which is going to pop out in a year, cutting and filling with concrete, which is a very expensive solution, second only to repaving, or this product that would be like almost a polymer, which they said they've had very good luck with. It wouldn't take the bump out of it because it would mound up instead of down, but it would keep the water from getting in and causing further damage on the street. So we don't have any idea what the cost is going to be on that one, but with $36,000 left and the ability to move other dollars around if we need to, I'm confident that we can take on that project also. So.
I think nice job by yourself and the Public Works getting two estimates. You know, I mean, that makes a big difference. It's nice having things laid out in front of us, you know, with the budgeted number there where we're keeping things within budget. That's great work.
Thank you. Yeah, and Tony did a wonderful job on bringing them in and making sure everybody's on the same page.
Hyacinth Street's been in bad shape for years. We've been promising them people up there. We just never got to it.
No, what the problem was with that was the DOT originally, it was thought that they were going to, that the DOT was going to do that. And then last year, I had talked to Mark about it, and Mark reached out to the DOT, and they said that'll never happen in your lifetime. So
the other piece on the bottom, the additional work, Tony left the turnaround on Hyacinth unpaved, without work, because it's not in as bad a shape as the rest. But with the bids coming in where they did, I felt that we should complete that piece. While they're there, right. So that'll be a minimal additional cost.
I have a
maybe
question.
$1,000.
That house at the bottom of Hyacinth, that's owned by the DOT?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, what's
That's Elder
But-
Vander's old.
Yeah,
Is
I
anybody
know.
living in there?
But,
Yep. There's a woman living.
but are we just gonna let it deteriorate or?
We had just found out about their plans to vacate whatever they were gonna do with it. This was right before Mark retired.
Okay,
Mark had reached out
okay.
to the guy from the DOT. So, I mean, it is something that we'd probably have to follow up with the DOT to see what their intentions are.
Yeah, okay. I think this is great. I mean,
Yeah,
I would-
Great work.
great work.
I would motion to approve and move forward.
All right.
Second it.
Roll call.
Dagenhart.
Aye.
Fleur.
Aye.
Roby.
Nay.
Falcon.
Aye.
Bergmeyer.
Aye.
24-0607, discussion possible action to approve loan from Fidelity Bank and Trust for the remainder of fire truck cost in the city of East Dubuque.
So this one is, I hope, pro forma because the council's already approved the purchase of the truck. They've already approved the going to debt to pay for it. And the mechanism is the only remaining item. We have been going back and forth with the bank since I've been here, trying to get to a point where we could provide them with the information they would need to loan us money. And we are finally at that point where we've gotten them the information, balance sheets, income statements, and those kind of things, that they're confident. Because the fire department did a great job in getting a state loan, zero interest loan for $350,000, and we were able to get that truck for a reduced cost, being that it's a demo. We're left with only about a $300,000 issue, and so my feeling is, my recommendation is, I shouldn't say feeling, my recommendation is that we do a regular loan on this rather than trying to go to bonding, which is a very expensive process to put in place. Given the shape of our budget, I don't think that we need to take on a 20-year loan on this, which is what the other part of the loan is or what bonding would be. So with this loan, we were able to keep the interest rate down by going to a 3-year loan. And my expectation is that we won't need 3 years to pay off this loan. It will be a higher interest rate than our other loans because of the situation in the country right now with interest rates where they are. So it will be the first one that we would knock out in the recommended use of our additional funds to take down debt. So rather than a 20-year bond, which would be expensive on the front end and expensive on the back end with 20 years of interest, I think we can knock this out in, I'm going to say, under 2 years. But for safety's sake, we did a 3-year loan.
Well, I got some ideas and I'll talk to you about it. I got another plan.
All right. Any questions or further discussion?
So move.
Second.
Roll call.
Fleur.
Aye.
Roby.
Aye.
Falcon.
Aye.
Bergmeyer.
Aye.
Dagenhart.
24-0608, discussion and possible action to approve an ordinance for Sidewalk Cafe in the city of East Dubuque.
All right, so we had a discussion at the last meeting on the sidewalk cafes. There's a request by one of our businesses on Sinsinawa to allow them to put tables outside the buildings. We looked at a number of codes by other communities and borrowing from some of those, we came up with this proposed ordinance. The gist of the ordinance is that we need to maintain a 4-foot wide pathway in order to come under be ADA compliant. And so what we do is many of the ordinances start at the building and say you can come out this far from the building, which doesn't really speak to anything that narrows the ADA pathway. So what we did with this one was started at the curb, the inside edge of the curb, and came in 4 feet, and we're preserving the pathway for pedestrians, and then we are allowing the permittee to utilize the remaining space. By and large, the sidewalks are 8 feet wide from curb to building, and so essentially they would have 4 feet to deal with. They would not be allowed to impinge on the within the other 4 feet. Where that changes is they have to be 4 feet from the inside edge of the curb, but they also have to be 4 feet from any signpost, light post, or other obstruction, garbage cans, whatever. And so if you have a garbage can, you may not be able to put a table opposite that because that might limit you by enough that you wouldn't be able to go there. As far as, and then this ordinance preserves the entrance and egress from places. It allows for a permit application in front of the building that is applying, but it also would allow them to have an agreement with a neighbor to go into their area. And there's not, we only have 25-foot fronts. And so you're not dealing with a lot of people, a lot of room for very much to happen. But I think that it both has an effect of, it's good for our businesses without hurting us. It's also, I think it is a beautification effort, because I think people going by like to see folks sitting and enjoying themselves in the sunshine and that type of thing. Another thing I would, and this puts the responsibility on the permittee to maintain the area in order to keep their permit. They have to make sure that they're keeping order just like they do within their own establishment. We had some talk about, I know that some of the proposals that were out there would have people, bring the drinks out and things like that. A lot of that is difficult to maintain, and when you're talking about people being able to take a beer out of the bar, if you go to these bars on a Saturday night, anybody who wants to can walk out of the bar with a beer. If the bar owner isn't properly handling their establishment. And so the sense was this extends the same to the outdoor establishments. Another issue that's been brought up is the signs. We've got all these slot signs out there. There are provisions in this under 13 signs. If you look at C, D, E, and F, those all relate to the posting of signs. And basically, this would allow us to prevent other advertising signs in the businesses that have the permit. And I think that it basically just clutter and things like that are all our decisions. So in order to apply, the individual would have to come with a drawing. We're pretty specific about how it looks, and put in their application. We haven't discussed in here what the amount of permit cost is. That's something I would hope to get from a discussion tonight. I think that's an overview. So.
And then they also have to bring like the proof of insurance.
Right. Yep. So they have to proof of insurance. They also have to indemnify the city against for any losses within their area. And we specifically designate the chief of police to be able to shut them down at a moment's notice.
What is our outdoor fee, outdoor area fee? I mean, I would say that'd be about the same. I mean, it's same thing. I mean, if they want a sidewalk cafe, they would pay the same $125 would be my recommendation.
I agree with that.
I agree. Yeah.
Let's not make it cost prohibitive.
And we also discussed some type of barricade around it.
Yeah. In terms of the practical application of it, if you're coming out 4 feet and you've got a 3-foot table, there's not going to be room. You're not going to be able to get to the inside tables unless you would gate that at every table. And so that was one, I think, aspect in our thinking of it as we were kind of applying how you do this. It's does the waitress, get in by the table with and then the other thing was, what's the purpose of it? And I think that the table itself, having to remain at the table is, with seating at the table, achieves the same control that a fence would.
Okay.
I think we should just waive that 125, just to see how it works out for them, I mean, it's a trial and error, but
If we're gonna do that, then we might as well table the ordinance too. We don't have anything in the ordinance on seasonal, when the tables can be put up, when the tables can be taken down. We don't have anything in that ordinance about using glass on the street. We have more stringent ordinances on people that have patios on private property than we do people bringing alcohol and food and stuff onto our street. So honestly, I think we should talk about this a little bit more.
Well, I would say that as we thought about it, for the glass and things like that, those are decisions that the owner, the proprietor, would have to take on. If somebody, just like within their business, first thing that you're going to do if someone breaks a glass is clean it up, because you have your own liability over it. And if things aren't kept clean, then you can have you can be fined, which is in here, and or you can have your permit pulled. As far as when they can do it, I kind of come down on sort of a free market take that I don't think people are going to want to be out there in certain seasons, but I think I would rather have a business person who knows their business decide what time of the year to put their tables out, which is their expense, as opposed to government making the decision.
I agree.
I do think the $125 fee should still apply. If we're charging people to have a thing out of the back of their business, we should charge people that want to participate with this sidewalk cafe. That's my opinion.
You're setting the fee at a level that we have to review this and maintain it and apply it. So other people shouldn't have to pay for them.
you're charging people, what, for 3 or 4 tables at 125, and then you're going to charge the same amount for the people that are using what you just said?
That's what we've been doing.
Yeah. So is that fair for 3 tables that we charge 125?
I think it's mostly just outdoor. I mean,
They don't have to put them out there.
It's about
You
being
know, I mean,
outdoors.
that's their decision.
Any further discussion? Yeah, I guess we would have to make a motion for the $125 fee. Roll call.
Roby,
Nay.
Belkin,
Aye.
Bergmeyer,
Aye.
Degenhardt, and Fleur.
Okay.
All right. We need a motion to approve the ordinance.
Second?
Roll call.
Belkin,
Aye.
Bergmeyer,
Aye.
Dagenhart. Fleur.
Twenty-four 0609 discussion and possible action to approve IEPA PWSL loan 17-6364, request number 2, in the amount of $34,257.50, including CFPS invoice number 2 and Origin Design invoices number 80379 and 80420 in the city of East Dubuque.
So these are all expenses covered by the lead service line grant. The lead service line grant is going to come in significantly under the budget established, to say it the least. So these are just charges that go with that.
What, where they did replace lead, are they supposed to replace the asphalt there, or we just?
They should be returning it to its original state. But the asphalt replacement, they would go through, and they're going through and they've done all the digging, and then they'll go through and patch
Okay, I
all
didn't know if they were
the
done with
places. Yeah.
Okay.
They have to go through and return them to as close to the original as they can.
Okay.
I do not have an invoice for CFPSS invoice number 2. I have 2 for Origin Design, and that's it.
She did not give me one. So I can, if you want.
So we pay bills without invoices?
She was gonna get it to me, but she did not get it to me before I got this sent out. If you want to table this, we can table this and
I was just tabling the one that's not here. The other ones are here.
I'd like to table that then, please. CFPS invoice number 2, until we get the invoice.
All right, so we have a motion to table the payment for CFPS invoice number 2. Second,
I'll second that.
roll call.
Bergmeyer,
Aye.
Dagenhart. Fleur. Roby.
Aye.
And Belkin.
No.
All right, and then we need a motion to approve the other 2 invoices.
I'll make the motion to pay the other 2 invoices for Origin Design.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Dagenhart. Fleur. Roby.
Aye.
Belkin.
Aye.
Bergmeyer.
Aye.
All right, and then number 10 is going to be scratched from the agenda for this evening. With that, 24-0611, a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Roll call.
Fleur.
Aye.
Roby.
Aye.
Belkin.
Aye.
Bergmeyer.
Aye.
And Dagenhart. Okay.
We are adjourned.